Alright, so welcome everyone to the channel. I've been feeling better, so I thought it was about time to actually get back into some car reviews and talking about some of the vehicles and actually driving. As I'm actually driving now, which is a good thing. So let's get right back into it with the 34 Ford that is a fairly new addition to the shop. Shortly before I got hurt, I actually ended up getting this vehicle. If you guys don't know, I ended up trading my 56 Chevy, which I said I was never going to trade. But there is a story behind this, and you know, I like stories. I like the stories behind the car, so let me tell you the story behind this one. So I may not move around the car quite as much on this video for obvious reasons. I am getting better, I'm getting stronger and doing much better, but still have my limitations and I have to live within them. But the story behind this car, I had seen this car on Facebook Marketplace for a long time and I'd been watching it. It was local, it was only about like 15 minutes away from me. And I thought the guy was a little high on his price, but nice looking car, and I kept watching it and it kept saying trade. So this is back when I had the Pro Street Chevelle, and I actually offered him that for a trade. And he sounded interested, sounded like he wanted to come by and check it out, but never did. And I didn't hear back from him, so I just let it go. So I happened to be going through ads again, as I often do, and I saw this car again, and I happened to notice that it said trade for a comfortable like 50s, 60s car. And it just so happened that I had been kind of thinking about getting rid of the 56. Don't get me wrong, I love the 56. It was a great driving car. I do miss that car, but I'd had it for quite a few years and I was just ready to move on to something else. So I hit him up, and I would say within probably 2 hours of me hitting him up, we made the trade happen. He came down, checked out my car, didn't even drive it. I just started up for him, and I took a little ride in this car, and we decided to make the trade. So I actually ended up following back over to his house, and we did all the paperwork, and lo and behold, here we go. Now, don't get me wrong, I miss the 56. I like the 56, but this was a very good trade. As far as the value, I do think I came up in this trade, which doesn't happen too often. And it was one of those situations where he had had this car for a while. His wife didn't like to ride in this car. It just wasn't comfortable for them. So it was kind of a win-win as far as that goes. What's really kind of interesting is the week before I made the trade on this car, my buddy Greg, he also has a 34 Ford coupe. And it just so happened that he had come over with it, and he let me drive it, let me take it around the block. And I really liked the car. Basically set up the same way as this one. But I really liked the car, and I was thinking, man, I'd like to have a 34 Ford coupe. And it just kind of happened that I came back around to this one, and you know the rest of the story. So yeah, it worked out actually really, really well. So I'm going to take you guys on a quick walk around of the car, and then we're going to take it out for a little drive, and I'll talk about the specifics, drivetrain and everything like that as we drive. You can see the paint is very, very nice, very clean. I like the two-tone. Got some cool little bonuses there. Now these are LED tail lights, and you really can't see them very well during the day because they're angled. Luckily it does have a third brake light right there, and you can see that. That's really the only thing I don't like about it, and I don't want to really do anything with the angles because it would look kind of funky. Wasn't really crazy about the graphics in the picture, but I do like them more. Kind of breaks the car up a little bit, breaks the two-tone up a little bit. So yeah, it's a nice looking car, nice little stance, nice ride. So there you guys can see under the hood. It needs a little cleaning right now. I haven't been too great about that lately, but a lot of chrome. Everything's polished up. Nice and clean and sanitary. It's got headers. It runs really good actually. Now on the inside is a little on the dark side, and I'm not talking about the Force, but try to show you guys the best that I can. Interior is very nice, very clean, tilt column. Got the shifter down there. So you guys can see the digital dash right there. It's kind of cool. Got the vents for the air conditioning down below. But it's really a nice little driver. It's got power windows. Stereo right up there that you can't really see because it's too dark. Of course, suicide doors. Suicide doors are always kind of cool. Okay, try to get to a little bit smoother of a road if I can find one. So, as I said, 34 Ford Coupe. It is a fiberglass body. It's got a small block 350 in it, turbo 350 transmission. It does have air conditioning, no heat, which is exactly the same as it was with my 56. It had no heat as well. And you know, it's not a bad driving car. As a matter of fact, and this is very unusual for me, but a couple of days after I got it, my wife and I actually took it up to Sonora to my buddy Wade's house, and the car did great. It handled everything just fine. It ran along freeway speeds just fine. I suspect there's probably like 308 gears in the rear end. I don't know if it's a posi or not, because it's not making a lot of horsepower. It's not a fast car or anything like that. Like I said, Dakota digital gauges, power windows. The actual trunk itself is power. Let's go ahead and make a turn here. But yeah, it's just a really nice driving little car. Disc brakes in the front, I believe drums in the back. And you know, we'll take it down the freeway here a little bit, but it runs really nicely. The only problem I have with this car, the fuel gauge, like right now it's reading double zeros, like nothing's in there, and I know if there's gas in there, it should be. I'm going to take it to the gas station. But it's not accurate at all. And then the other concern I have is, I think the water temperature is metric, and I'm not sure how to reset that, because right now it's reading 30. I know it's not 300 degrees. This thing has a manual fan and an electric fan, and I got to remember all this stuff because it's been a while since I've been in the car. But yeah, it's a nice cruising car, nice driving car. I really like it. I like having it. I do notice, like the 40 Ford, it has an exhaust leak, so I'll have to look into that at some point in time. Right there, we're already up to 70 freeway speeds very comfortably. And let's see, where's my tag? Oh yeah, I don't think it has a tag on it. Oh no, it does have a tag, never mind. Taking about 2,600 RPMs at 70. So I'm very happy with that. So I cruised down the road. The air conditioning wasn't working when I got it. Took a couple of cans of R134. Now it's working great. I'm loving this car, I really do. Get some fuel. So I just put almost 8 gallons in. I can see the fuel level. It should be reading at least 3/4, if not better, and it's still on double zeros. I think there must be a short or something's not quite connecting with it somewhere, because sometimes it will read up kind of normal and you'll see it start to climb up and then go back down. Now, I used to be a really big fan of Dakota, the digital gauges. Of course, I have a set in my truck, and I like them. They've been good, but if I had it to do over again, I'd probably go with just regular analog gauges. That doesn't mean I'm going to change the gauges out in this or the gauges out in my truck, just because I don't want to spend the money, and that's just not a big priority to me. So, but I do want to get the gauges working correctly, especially the fuel gauge. To me, that's kind of important. This thing doesn't have anything for mileage, so I can't like log my miles and say I went 80 miles or 100 miles, I need to put fuel in or what have you. So that's definitely something to take care of. It does have, like I said, the exhaust leak that I want to get taken care of, and it feels like there's a little air in the brake lines. I know Eddie was tinkering with that, and they feel better, but it feels like when I pump them once, I get more brake out of it. So, still a couple things to take care of with this car. Nothing major, certainly. The car, the bones are very, very nice. It's a good riding car. It doesn't have a lot of rattles to it, even for these back roads, these rough roads. So, I'm really pleased with it. Now, yes, I know you guys want to see what it does, and it's not bad. Let me show you. I do think it was just one tire in first and second. Wasn't really a good display of what it'll do through the gears, but yeah, not bad. Okay, I'll roll into a little bit so we don't have the tire spin. And you can really hear the exhaust leak when I'm getting into it. But like I said, it cruises along really nicely. I'm happy with it. It's fun. I enjoy it. As I say with a lot of cars, and I know it doesn't always happen, but I think this one will stick around for a little while. I really think this is kind of one of the pinnacles in my collection right now. And I like the fact that I've got a car from just about every era, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I don't have anything from the 90s right now, but I'm working on that. And then of course 2000s. So that's kind of cool to have. Back at the shop. It's good because like I said, I haven't driven this car obviously in over a month. So kind of good to take it out. I've still got a few bugs to work out. Have to get it back over to the workshop. Right now the Camaro's over there, and you guys remember I traded the Camaro. I actually traded the Pro Street for the Camaro and got that. Starting to get that back together, so more than likely the next video will be on that, or I do have an update to do on the General Lee. I just got to move some cars around and get that one done. So want to get back into more videos. I am feeling better. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting to where I can be up a little bit more. I just have to accept the fact that it's a slow process, and I understand that, but sometimes, you know, my mind wants to do more than my body's willing to do. So I'm trying to push myself. I'm trying to get back in there, but I know I can't rush it. And so far I haven't done anything too stupid to wreck the progress that I've been making, but getting back there. So there should be more videos coming, more activity, things like that. I apologize, I've been on a little hiatus here, but getting back into it. So as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All my pertinent information will be down in the description below. That being said, God bless, take care, guys. Have an absolutely amazing day.